Going around Discord, I found a super interesting leak list. And I don't want to pay any attention to the vehicles at all. I don't really think this leak list is true. But towards the bottom, it kind of shows something that I actually think will happen in the future for War Thunder. Before we dive into this video, I'd appreciate it if you guys hit the like button and subscribed. Only 11% of my current viewers are subscribed, and if we're going to have any chance of hitting 10k by the end of the year, we need to get those numbers up. So, 5th generation closed beta test. That is something I have said for about a year now that I think will truly come to War Thunder, and I actually think it may be sooner than we all realize. For the most part, it feels like when Gaijin wants to implement something super major, rather it be Fox 3s or infantry, they tend to give anywhere from 6 months to even longer of actual testing to the players before it's ever implemented. Think back to Fox 3s. We had them on the dev server for a major update that never actually even arrived to the game then. It was about 6 months later when we got another dev server for the actual trailer with Fox 3s. And that was the second test we had. We had 2 tests for Fox 3s, essentially. And there was a 6-month gap, give or take. And for submarines, which still aren't even in the game, they've had play tests for those for all the time. We've had several over the last few years. And the thing with infantry is it's still ongoing. Infantry beta tests are still happening, so it's quite obvious Gaijin likes to have long-awaited testing. And I think it's a very real possibility we will see 5th generation testing. I think for the reason why is Gaijin will want to see how stealth aircraft are against 4th gens. I think Gaijin will implement something on a dev server where it's like, hey, take the Su-57 or the F-22, or even something like the YF-23, and you're going to go fly against Eurofighters, Su-30s, Super Hornets, advanced F-15 models. Something like that. And actually see how good 5th gen is going to be against 4th gen, and also be able to test out the stealth characteristics in large battles. Because I don't think what Gaijin is going to do is implement 5th gen just off of a single dev server. I'd find it very unlikely that Gaijin goes and adds a trailer for a 5th generation fighter, or for 5th gens like the Felon and the Raptor, and even like the Lightning 2, and then only give us 2 to 3 weeks of testing with it. I think we'll see something large scale like that way before we ever even see 5th generations being added. Say 5th generations were to be added in December. This would give Gaijin pretty much the entirety of September, October, and November, which I guess that is only 3 months compared to the 6 that I was talking about, but 3 whole months to make any changes that they see fit, especially if they're going to add things like the Meteor. I know one of the big things Gaijin talked about adding was more advanced Fox 3s for 4th generation platforms before we add 5th generation. I think they're really going to want to test how 5th generation will operate against more modern air-to-air missiles. So example, say the Su-57 with R-77-1s against something like a Super Hornet with AIM 174s, or an F-22 Raptor with AIM 120Ds versus a MiG-31 with its more advanced air-to-air missiles. Something like that. The Eurofighters with the Meteor versus the Raptor with the 120 and the Felon with the R-77, or any other of the air-to-air missiles that these platforms use. It will absolutely be Gaijin wanting to see how these will function against more modern air-to-air systems. That's what I think they're going to want to test. The other big thing will be, obviously, radar, and how radar will function against stealth aircraft. Because Gaijin absolutely does not want to add a feature where it's like either A, we get to the live server with 5th generation and they are either overperforming drastically or underperforming drastically. Gaijin doesn't want to have a lot of major bugs when they add 5th gen. They're going to want to make it as easy as possible. And in my perspective, that will mean a lot of player testing, or at least one major dev server. And this makes sense. I mean, if this dev server rolls out with 5th generation player testing, we'll know within the next 2 weeks. And let me just say, that would be a very major step towards next generation aircraft. That doesn't mean it's going to come tomorrow. I still think we are at the bare minimum 3 months out of having 5th generation platforms, and I think we will see testing public before we ever see that, which might take away some of the ooh and ah of when we'll actually see it in the game, but we'll at least have less bugs. I want to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you guys think it's likely we'll see a player testing like we did for Fox 3s and like we've seen for infantry, like we will for 5th gen, or will it be more like submarines? Gaijin give us testing now, but not add it for maybe even 1 or 2 years. It's a very real possibility in both worlds. I personally think it makes a lot of sense for Gaijin to roll out 5th generation testing this year and possibly add 5th gens by the summer of next year, or even in this dev server add 5th generation player testing and then roll them out in the December update. I want to know your thoughts down below. This is all pretty much just thoughts. There's nothing serious, nothing true behind it. I mean, this is just a hypothesis that I have. I want to know your thoughts. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.